Welcome to Sailing on Elbow Grease, second episode in a series on how to restore your old wooden dinghy on a budget. This is my lovely co-host for the day, Jordan, baby Jordan. He'll be helping us looking at all the various safety equipment that you'll need and all the other bare essentials you'll need to complete your restoration project. So first on the safety equipment that you'll need is eyewear. It's very important to protect your eyes from paint, from solvent, and from various splinters and particles coming off a boat while you're working on it. And if you ever work with epoxy and you're sanding some fiberglass, I would recommend getting a more dust-proof pair of goggles. Jordan had to run. He was in desperate need of some booby. I'll continue the segment. Maybe he can join us a little bit later. Onto the gloves. When I'm working with very harsh chemicals like Durastrip, I use heavy-duty gloves to protect my hands. They're very difficult to work with small and finer detailed things, so I use lighter working gloves whenever I chisel or I sand or work with a boat or put fittings on. It just protects your hands a little bit, but you still have a nice good feel and fit to it, so it's nice and tight. Then when I varnish or paint, I usually use some nitrile gloves. They're very cheap and very useful. You don't have to clean your hands afterwards and you can just throw them away. They're like $50 for a pack of 100. Onto respirators. When working with fine particles like dust or with chemicals, you usually need to use some kind of mask or a respirator. For just normal sanding, I would recommend a normal dust mask, but when you move over to the heavier stuff, I would use a respirator. You don't need a lot of tools to restore a wooden dinghy. On this table is everything you'll basically need to restore the boat and get sailing. Let's start with a few chisels that you'll use. We'll show everything how to use it later in the other episodes. Clamps. You can never have enough clamps, and obviously various style clamps and various sizes. Then hammers. We'll need various hammers to use with the chisels or to drive in nails into the wood when actually putting up marine ply onto the boat. Then jigsaw is very essential. This is basically the only heavy tool that you will need. This is for the cut out of marine ply or various other small pieces of wood. Then paint brushes, obviously for varnishing and for painting. Pencil. Then we have a sanding block. If you don't have an orbital sander, this is very useful. A pair of scissors, obviously, to cut fiberglass tape that you're going to use on the boat. Then various scrapers. If you're going to use Durastrip, a nice sturdy scraper to get all the paint off, or then other scrapers just to put epoxy on to the boat. And obviously you'll need some screwdrivers as well, various sizes. I like one that you can change the bits. It's a lot easier to have one with a lot of bits and carry a whole lot of screwdrivers along. And then the last thing that you'll need is a good tape measure. Remember, measure twice, cut once. And the third essential thing you'll need is a lot of consumables. I'll cover that as we go along, how to use that and what you'll need. But for now, the list is basically epoxy resin, 2-part automotive or marine paint, fiberglass tape, masking tape, blue masking tape for when you're painting, wood glue, screws, nails, and obviously sanding paper. See you next time on Sailing on Elbow Grease.
Allee.
Moet aftellen, so 3.
2, 3, 4. O, hy het begin.
Very important. Eyewear is always very important. Use normal goggles for you. But no. Booby. Ply off and Dat ek my volgorde vergeet. En die rekenaarskerm is dood. My prompter. Prompter.